Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen, brought to you by Vine Life Realty. And now, here's your host, Nick Marek.
Inside the Bullpen's back for another episode. Nick Marek, Chad Siewert, Walt Ruff here in the NITEC Sports Center with the Brahmas back in town after the NAHL Showcase in Blaine, Minnesota. And to say the least, it was a very successful showcase for the Brahmas. In the 3 years, it was their best finish. Up in Blaine, they went 3-0-1 at the Schwann Super Rink. And to give an idea, I know Walt and I have been talking on Twitter a little bit, on our personal handles, and I know Walt did some articles on this as well. But the Brahmas going 3-0-1, and all their opponents, besides those games against the Brahmas, went 10-1-1 on the week. So they were definitely had a strong week as well. But the Brahmas getting the upper hand of those tough opponents, including the reigning NAHL Robertson Cup champions. And it was a great week for Walt and I to be up there. I know we really had some fun and enjoyed seeing the team have a good time and obviously perform well. And Chad, I know you were back here in the with the front office checking out the games on fasthockey.com throughout the week. So from everything I'm hearing from the fans too, just from hearsay or online or what have you, it was a pretty good week all around for everybody in Brahmaland.
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting a bunch of points is great, but we should apologize to all the Brahma fans who tuned in on Fast Hockey. There was, I would say, a large amount of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
The screen feed was buffering a lot. I know one game we had no audio for the first period. These were issues that were kind of out of our hands, and I did speak to Fast Hockey this morning. There was a little bit of a router issue there at the Schwann Super Rink, and like I said, they said that hadn't happened before, and I don't think that's how it's going to be with our new broadcast here this season. So Apologies for that one, but
we're going to get it fixed up. I know Walt and I kind of went over and talked to him. We said, hey, look, I know our fans are at about a 6 right now, and you do not want to see them get to a 10. If that happens, it could get a little rough. And, to be honest, we did our best, and we apologize for the difficulties. We don't foresee them going on further. I mean, we're trying to make sure everything's straight in Brahmaland and on the road, but I think the one thing is just definitely reach out to us like you have been on social media. Reach out to Fast Hockey support. Let them know there's issues with internet for functions like that, or if it's not just your end, make sure if it's a buffering thing, it could be your computer. But if Fast Hockey says it's not, just try to do everything you can to double check that. Sometimes even a browser issue. I know we've had some issues, but hopefully that'll be fixed moving forward, and we'll be more than happy to help everybody because we don't want to drop you from seeing Brahma hockey at all. But I think coming now back into the week, the roster's in the process of getting trimmed down to the 23 active man roster. So that's deadline's October 1st, and we will definitely get some guests on after that date, probably in the coming podcast episodes once Dan and Jeff have a better idea of what their team's going to look like. So you won't hear just the same old 3 voices up here. As much as we have fun with it, I think the fans probably want to hear a little bit more meat rather than us just kind of previewing some things. But I know Chad, you kind of have a say on this matter.
I guess a little bit, yeah. I think first of all, last week, was it last week or week before? Walt and I, when you were gone, we recorded an episode. It'll be a lost episode of the podcast. I think we were both I know, it was like we were driving with the lights off. We had no direction. We didn't know what to do without Nick here. So we were kind of like, there's a lot of dead air.
I was getting my NHL 16 on, I guess.
Yeah, you were getting your game on. But yeah, one of the things I'm pretty sure we discussed in that one, Walt, was you're the fan. And one of the next podcasts, we're going to let the fans vote on who they want the guests to be. And then we'll do it on location somewhere at one of our sponsors and give the fans a chance to come out and ask questions or whatever they have for us.
Home opening weekend in Brahmaland on October 9th and 10th. I think a lot of fans are circling that date because hockey is finally back in North Richland Hills, Texas, and their beloved Brahmas open the season, at least their home opener, on October 9th and 10th against the Amarillo Bulls. And Walt, to get you back involved here in this podcast, I know you've witnessed your first preseason game at home, and there's even bigger expectations now for the home opener. And everybody's been working hard in the front office. It seems like there's been some quiet time. So to get back on the podcast, I feel like a time we could all talk together because everybody's trying to get everything done and finalized before that date. But just kind of, Walt, what's your overall reactions of what to expect there in Brahmaland that weekend? Have you heard anything from the players, the coaches, yourself? What are you thinking?
Well, we are all pumped. I can confirm that, absolutely. I can't wait to see what this place is going to look like next Friday. But even furthermore, after being up in Blaine, I think our Brahmas games were probably the most attended out of any up there. It was just nuts.
Yes.
Every single game. You could not find a seat. Standing room only. Simple as that.
Yeah, I like that one that you did the post-game report. Nick, that one, was it the Wilderness game where you said that it was completely packed, and that was pretty exciting to see, I guess, to see 1,500 people in a rink that holds 1,000 people for a little Brahmas hockey.
It was jammed. I mean, scouts wanted to, they wanted to see some of the players in the Brahmas, but I think the game that obviously really drew the scouts to it was that Fairbanks game. That was one you were referring to in terms of the post-game show, but it was pretty crazy to see because I think a lot of the scouts almost came for Fairbanks more than they came for the Brahmas, just because, the extra year, the more connections they have with the Ice Dogs organization. But, I mean, not to discredit Dan or Jeff by any means or the players' talent by any stretch of the imagination, but, that game definitely put them back on the map.
And it's impossible to get to Fairbanks, too.
True.
Unless you've got a huge budget.
That's a very valid point. I think it was a big eye opener for everybody, and the team really. I thought they played well. I thought they played well under the pressure of that game. It was a 0-0 game through 65 minutes of hockey. Like, you really can't expect much more. And Walt, I know you and I were just talking like, hey, this might be a preview of something we're going to see around April, potentially in postseason if both teams continue the way they did. And I think the scouts were kind of on board.
Yeah, that was nuts. I mean, that was one of the best hockey games I've seen in a very long time. It was sad that when it ended, I was like, oh, my God. Like, I hope we see another game that good sometime soon because that was a great quality hockey game. And it's not a surprise to me to see how loaded that place was because it was well-deserved.
Well, Dan said when I talked to him, he said that with the exception of the Springfield game, those other ones were like playoff games, both just in atmosphere and intensity. So it's good to see that type of hockey that early in the season. Usually you don't see the boys click that hard until at least January.
Right.
And I understand that we arrived in Blaine with a different cast of characters than we left with. We picked up a couple characters along the way.
Yes, we did. We picked up defenseman Samu Suominen. Technically, even though it's a quote-unquote, we picked him up, we actually literally did as the team was driving up north through Iowa. They literally had him hop on the bus midway through the road trip to continue up to Blaine. But he's a player that tendered, so he signed a contract with the Brahmas in the offseason, and he was practicing with the Chicago Steel in the United States Hockey League before arriving here now in Brahmaland. So the USHL, the same league that A.J. Vanderbeck and Johan Steen and many other Brahmas in the past have gone through. And then the other one was the biggest one, at least the new addition-wise in Blaine, was adding another goaltender. And it threw a couple people by surprise for sure. I think that was a curveball in the mix, and the team was kind of like, okay, because we just had 3 goalies coming in. We had to make the coaches had to make the hard decision to trade away Gunnar Rivers. Now they bring in a new guy called his name Corbin Kaspersky, and because of the addition, another big move was made this week. The Brahmas unfortunately had to say goodbye to their second goaltender already before the home opener. So Darian Hansen, unfortunately, no longer in Brahmas purple as he was just traded to the Aston Rebels, but there's some new faces, and I think I guess Chad's more used to this than myself, and Walt's getting a taste of it now too, but I don't expect too many more moves anyways from this team. I think the team is very strong. We saw that in Blaine. So at least from like comfort standpoint, you just got to, at this point, almost go with who you have, and that's the team you're going to ride with until something goes desperately wrong, or knock on wood, there's some big injury or something that you need to find somebody to cover. But the new faces are well welcomed already by the team, and it'll be interesting to see how they perform.
Yeah, Nick, you hit the nail on the head there. It's been a carousel so far back in the crease. I thought for sure once we got rid of Gunnar Rivers that for the rest of the year was going to be O'Brien and Hansen, because obviously both of those two guys have performed outstandingly. And then when we got to Blaine on Tuesday, and you and I were talking to Jeff Potter, and he's like, yeah, we picked up another goalie on the way here. And we were like, what?
Right.
And we just both kind of looked at each other like, okay, because now, you got rid of your third, and now you're back to 3. And obviously then when we talked to Jeff yesterday, we were like, all right, well, I guess Hansen's on the move this time. I mean, I would be shocked personally if we make another move from O'Brien and Kaspersky back there, because
I agree.
Those two kids are going to be studs. I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I've never seen goalie moves when every goalie is winning games. I mean, it's not like anybody's been shelled or just looks like they're scared of the puck back there. It's weird to see moves when everybody's on top of their game or seemingly on top of their game. So I don't think it'll happen, but it wouldn't shock me if there was another move down the road. It's amazing what you take for granted. Like last year with Black and Kupski, they were just locked in from the get-go. And so this year, trying to find that tandem, those guys work so well together with Black taking Fridays and Kupski taking Saturdays. It was like peanut butter and jelly, but now it's a buffet.
I hear you, but I think that model from last year is going to change, and the reason why is we even looked at Hansen. He played fantastic in the game in Blaine. He 16 save shutout against the Springfield Junior Blues on day 1 there in the NAHL Showcase. So for Darian, tips to him going to Aston: just stay gold, pony boy. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you just got to ride that high horse and just push it. Just there's scouts out there that wants to see him, and it's a good move for him. He's going to Joe Coombs, who is the former head coach of the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. So Dan and Jeff are well aware of that organization, even though they're in Pennsylvania. I think there's big things around the horizon for him, because the Brahmas had 4 capable goaltenders, and now that's down to 2. But here's what I kind of want to switch gears to. And Walt, I know when you and I saw this with the central scouting list in the NHL, there were 10 active NAHL players on the potential, watch list, if you will, for the NHL draft this coming summer, and then 1 alumni on there as well, but no Brahmas. Not to say I'm surprised by it, just because the NAHL doesn't get too much attention when you have to compete with the likes of the Connor McDavids, if you will,
Jack
up in the
goals of the world.
Exactly, when they're playing the best in the collegiate world, and they're still young enough to be eligible, or they're over in Tier 1 Canadian hockey, which is obvious. There's no denying it's a higher level, but I'm just kind of interested to hear your takes on it too. I know we talked about some of those players on and maybe what's to come this season.
Well, I'm not shocked to not see a Brahma on the list, I'll say that. And I think that's directly correlated to how deep this team is. It's not just like the Brahmas are a 1-line team, 2-line team. They've got 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. The production is there from all levels. You can take every line and just examine it down as to what they do well. So it's not like they have a stud, which is a wonderful thing to say, because it's not like you can just lock down on someone who is going to light it up every night. You've got to watch for all 4 lines here, so it doesn't bother me any to not see any on the list. I know there's a couple from within our division there. Wichita's got 1, Topeka's got 1, and obviously we saw the Springfield team, we saw the Wilderness team, so close ties to all those who are on that list. But no, it doesn't bother me any, to answer your question, to not see a Brahma on the list. I know with the success that the team had in Blaine, I know there are some on this team who are receiving the deserving looks as they should, regardless of being on this list or not.
Yeah, Potter was saying, I think there's about, I don't know if this number is accurate, but there's about 15 Division I schools that have now zeroed in on Lone Star Brahmas hockey. And again, that's a lot. I don't know if that number's accurate. 15 could be 10, but
Right.
Either way you look at it, there's
Still
a lot
a lot.
of good schools looking this way based on success last year, and then, like you said, the depth of the team. You've got a lot of quality players on this squad and a lot of quality programs that are going to have their eyes on y'all's broadcast all year, I'm sure, as well as
aren't we the beneficiaries of that?
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Can they recruit us? No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean that's great. I mean, I think all eyes need to be on Brahmas hockey this year. I think just based on the success from last year, this team's expected to do, if not as good, even better, which is very hard to do. But I mean, a team that had 40 win season and 60 games, and then goes on and one goal in an overtime period away from going to the finals, in which they would have hosted the Robertson Cup finals last year if they scored. I mean, that's crazy to think that this team could potentially match that. I mean, nobody ever wants to put the bar high, if you will. I mean, I know there's still going to be a level of, okay, let's be real and let's wait till the season kind of unravels a little bit. But just the way that Dan and Jeff have been able to kind of grill in this team, and Al Rooney even just, all the time I'm getting the messages, goalie skate, need shooters, let's get out there. So all aspects are being well taken care of here in Brahmaland, and this team's starting to fly. Like they're starting to pick up some wings. The chemistry's starting to get there now. I mean, I think the one thing we've noticed certainly was the power play line definitely needs some help from just witnessing a couple of games. But I mean that'll come around. Is it frustrating now? Sure, but we could have
had 60 goals in this showcase. That power play line. It was frustrating us watching back here, especially what was it, the Wilderness game? It seemed like, or no, maybe it was the first game where we were on the power play like half of that
8 times. Yeah, the first period. I think we had Springfield Junior Blues had 10 minutes of penalties in the first 20-minute period.
It was all sloppy, like slashing, hooking, tripping,
right.
just silly.
They couldn't keep up.
They couldn't keep up, but we couldn't capitalize on it.
No,
so.
And it kept them in the game at least till the second period, but then adios. I mean, I don't know. It's just got to move the puck more. It's funny to say that because I see all the Brahmas fans out here, and I know the favorite saying, and I have my headphone on, and Walt has his headphones on, and we're blazing with the call, but you could still hear the shoot the puck. Is
that Harry Butler? Did he go up there?
Yeah, he's below us a little bit.
You could hear him yelling.
No, he's so vocal, you could hear him 4 rows in front of us.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
it's the go-to saying in Brahmaland, but hey, there comes a time when there is a point. You don't want to get too cutesy, and you just want to take the chances because, hey, if you score, obviously 60 is an exaggeration, but if you capitalize on 2 more of those opportunities, now all of a sudden you're going to start putting teams behind before this game's even over.
Right. Yeah, well, Dan and Jeff, they'll work on the power play.
Once that gets going, though, holy cow.
I mean, right now I think everybody's still adjusting the system, and like you said, we've got Samu, whatever, however you say the last name. Suominen. I'm not even going to try that. You got a quality defenseman who's got to learn, everything that these guys have been learning for the past, whatever month that they've been together. So
right.
There's a lot that has to come together, and I guess we'll see this weekend in Topeka how they've adjusted and learned from, I guess, mistakes. There weren't that many mistakes in the showcase, but at least none that I could see. The only mistake was letting Liam Sturtzinger shoot for Fairbanks.
Oh, yeah.
What a killer.
Wow. Yeah, that was...
that's kind of storybook, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Extremely storybook. I know the team was not too pleased. It was him getting that last call in round 6 to win it.
And it's funny because at that time I had gone to I had to take my daughter to a school softball game, and so I had Point Street pulled up on my cell phone, and I was like, oh gosh, overtime, now we're in a shootout, and then we scored, and they scored, then we scored, then they scored, and then Sturtzinger got up, and you remember Nick from last year, he had a really high shootout percentage. That was like one of his best skills was he is like 60% shootout guy, and so I kind of had a feeling, yep, there it goes.
Well, to say the least, before I even started picking up the voice, and I saw him jump over the bench, I looked at Walt and I was like, I think I tapped him once because he was trying to send the fans a tweet update back at home as he's trying to keep up with the quick rounds, and it was like, I was like, oh boy, we were kind of talking about like what's going to happen with Liam when he hits the ice, and it was like, well, this is it right here. Like, he could do it. He could do it and really bury his former team, or he'll look like not a fool, but he wouldn't be too pleased with himself if he missed that goal. And obviously he did, and whatever. Brahmas figure it out. You got to suffer those losses, those tough ones early. Just kind of, builds it that you aren't unbeatable, and there's teams out there you still have to keep working hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's crazy. If you think about it, those teams that we played were all, like you said, they were all really good in the showcase. So that's an amazing test of skill right off the bat. I wish that we got to see more teams from out of the South coming down into Texas, more for our fans than anything. I like to change it up a bit, but we'll see. It looks like the South did pretty well in the showcase overall. So
yeah, they were actually the leading team out of the 4 divisions.
Yeah, so this looks like, it always is the place to be, but looks like the South is going to be super tough this year, and it'll be interesting to watch how we go through the next 53 games or 55 games.
Yeah, was it 56? 56, there it is, and then playoffs. But yeah, it's crazy. And now, with the home opener coming here, some things for the fans. Obviously, we'll have Chad will have you highlight some of the promotion nights too in the opening weekend. But I just know one thing: you could definitely see some new stuff out in the lobby. Not too late to sign up for kids clubs, or if you want to get some mini season ticket plans or full season tickets. Either way, if you haven't bought them yet and you come to the first game and you're like, wow, yeah, this team's good, I enjoy it, then definitely be sure to lock up your season tickets at a good rate. There's huge discounts to be had there. And then in terms of the kids club, a new thing we've been pushing for this season and working in the off season to get it together, but some different local businesses and restaurants from the area are participating with the Brahmas this season, and we have different membership cards for the kids where they can enjoy some benefits of free kids meals, 10% offs, those kind of deals from different area restaurants. And then also, I know Chad, you and I were trying to figure out where we're going to rope off a section for kids club only members, maybe between the periods to have them pump up the team when they come back out to the ice, or we'll get creative with that. That's probably next on our to-do list.
Yeah, right. Right now there's 7 million things to do and a clock that won't stop ticking. The countdown is here. But yes, the kids club will be new and revamped and very cool. And I think that once word gets out on that and everybody sees, it'll be a good thing. So yeah, I look forward to the season. It's hard to believe. Right? It's hard to believe. It feels like just yesterday we were cursing the Austin Bruins and crying.
It's probably because it's so hot outside. It almost doesn't even feel like it's hockey season yet here.
It is. What do you think? You came down from Philly. What do you think? It's October tomorrow and it's still 90 degrees outside.
100% cool with me.
Yeah,
I've got no complaints there. Good luck to Darian Hansen going from Texas to PA. Now I'm sure I've seen some of my friends on the social media. It's getting cold up there.
Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, Texas. It feels like the summer is 9 months, and then we've got one hybrid season for 3 months. But October is here. One more sleep, and then we're in October, and
right.
It is hockey time.
Right. Well, I mean, the one thing too, Kids Club, you could find all the information you need online. Just for $10 annually, your Brahmas kid can be a part of the exclusive club membership, and that runs for a full calendar year. But in terms of the promotion, I know there's some big things and some fun giveaways too in the opening weekend here against the Bulls.
Yeah, we've got we'll do banner raising night. That's another thing we'll have to finalize all the details on, but that's opening night. We'll the league sent us some fancy banners for our arena from our South Division Championship last year, so we'll have a banner raising ceremony. Then also we've got the annual magnet schedule night. Then we've got our first poster night, which fans will be voting on who the subject of that poster will be.
Yes.
And of course, $1 hot dog night, which means we'll have to make another video, and you'll have to try to take my crown again. I don't know. I was pretty dominant last year. I think we could get Walt in on it, but I think Walt's a vegetarian and he won't eat any hot dogs.
I know.
We'll figure something out.
We'll get you a veggie dog, buddy.
Yeah, those are great. I can bring some in. Anyway, real quick, back to your point, Chad, with the poster night. big announcement that we made earlier this week. We'd like to welcome Megan Sullivan as our official team photographer.
Touché.
I know we were all over social media with that, but let's give her some love here because, I mean,
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Round of applause.
Absolutely. I mean,
Good call. Her pictures were all the pictures.
well,
that were
yeah,
submitted
that's
were
that's
awesome.
the beauty of leaving it up to the fans. I mean, we don't have to sit here and feel guilty about who we picked or anything. It's who they wanted, and Megan Sullivan is the girl you got. So I'm a big fan of her work, obviously, and Jessica's as well. But you'll be seeing a lot more of Megan's moving forward. Like I said on social media, I don't think the fans could have gone wrong either way. They both are outstanding young photographers, but I'm super excited to see what Megan's going to put out this year.
Well, no, it's great too because honestly, out of the 6 that started with, we could have had a role for any of them, but again with the voting, it came down to Jessica and Megan. But I know Megan too. It's her first time kind of with sports, and I know even when we were looking at in the final, we were kind of calculating the days and seeing how the percentages rolled out. It was like, wow, this is your first time with sports. Like the moments she was able to capture was great. So we're looking forward for that. But on top of that, I know we checked out her website too, and that's all posted online. But big in the music scene, the musicians. Excuse me. I know when I was talking with her, she said she's going down to the Austin city limits, and I was like, man, wish we could go down there now too with her. I never checked out to that event, but I know Chad, you're the big music guy here out of the 3. So you had to make it down there, right?
I was in a band that played the very, very first Austin City Limits Music Festival.
Well, there you go.
And it has grown 1,000 times bigger than that in the past. I guess it's been 11 years, but yeah, I'm so old now. I've got 3 kids. Sitting at a music festival sounds like the worst idea ever to me, but
a couple years ago, I bet it wouldn't have been.
Oh no, I'd have been front and center. Front and center, absolutely. Yeah, hockey is a very hard sport, as we all know, to photograph. I mean, it moves so fast. There's just so much going on. The lighting is weird. Everything is weird. So these photographers did an outstanding job. It's hats off to them for sure.
Oh, 100%.
And I look forward to seeing some of the photos that we get as we move through and, how we're going to use those. I like the way that you guys incorporate everything in the infographics and the post-game recaps and all that. So
we'll get more. It'll be
good, yeah.
We'll be picking it up, too. We don't want to steal too much thunder either from from Megan or Jessica's moving forward and everybody else that participated in our photography contest. But Walt and I were almost looking at each other like, oh, man, what do we put for this article to put a picture with it? And we're like, well, we don't want to steal anybody's thunder yet. Like, we don't know who the fans are going to pick. So even we were like scrapping and clawing and trying to pull out our iPhones to snap some pics. And it was brutal. So it's nice to have the full official gear and have that kind of locked down for the season. I know for sure. And I guess while we're kind of going through some big things around Brahmaland, how about the golf tournament?
We got a golf tournament November 15th. That'll be fun. Nick,
we're going to get Walt out there. He's going to do the longest drive. He's
I think Walt will be, I don't know, we'll find some sort of role. Nick and I will be on Team Trinchero, our sponsored team, along with Ricardo and Hunter here. Yeah, we'll be bringing up the rear of the golf tournament, but we'll have a great time. Sky Creek Ranch, November 15th, noon, shotgun. You can find more information on the website, LoneStarBrahmas.com, but it's a great time. The players, unless they pay for a spot and get in the tournament, they are caddying, so they'll be with groups. And had a meeting with Dan about this yesterday, and it's a great way. If you've got a player as a caddy, it's just a great way to get to know them. You'll feel connected to them throughout the year.
Yes.
They may be terrible at caddying, but, that's okay. Last year we had, what did we have? We had Andren and Larson.
Yeah.
We had the tandem.
Yep.
the Swedish tandem. They were probably the worst caddies I've ever seen in my life. But great guys, and I felt connected to them through that whole year. We got to know them a little bit. And Ludwig, he even hit a golf ball pretty decently.
Yeah,
there
he
once.
smashed it. I just gave him my club. I'm like, here you go, man. Yeah. I've been terrible today.
Yeah.
Wail away. But
it's a good time. And Benny Keith, Fort Worth, is providing adult beverages for everyone that is of age. So
it's going to be the Catalina wine mix up in here.
Oh, it'll be the Catalina wine mixer. Excellent. Nice reference. Nice.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it'll be a good time.
I'm excited for that. There's going to be more, lots more going on. And I think, who was the reigning champs from last year?
Oh, gosh, I don't even remember.
I can't remember either
I had to
now.
bail as soon as it was over.
Oh, man. I know the players, I think, were one of the player teams was runner-up. The one with, was it Jake and his dad? And
Jake and his dad were good.
I think so. Something like Egan. Was Egan on? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, hockey players are usually pretty good at golf. We've got a lot of former players in the area that usually bring the thunder here with this golf tournament. So November 15th, set your calendars.
We're there. We are there.
Absolutely. We're in. What else you got?
Man, I don't know. It's been such a busy week. It's been trying to fly through, and we've been
and now
motoring.
All the this is that crazy time, during the off season we're rounding up sponsors and renewing deals and cutting new deals and everything, and now we're installing everything. I was even out there helping out the ops guys take dashers down this afternoon, and so we'll get ready for a new wave of them, and it'll have a new look here October 9th.
Yeah, thanks to BSG Wraps for hooking us up with those. So
absolutely.
Anything you need there, they're the place to go. I'll tell you that much. It's like, you need it done? Boom, tomorrow. Here they are.
Here it is. Yep.
Yeah, BSG has done a great job for us thus far. But, hey, if you're missing Brahmas hockey that much, coming out this weekend, the NA3 Texas Brahmas are here at home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
I'm taking off work, Chad. I'm
4
going
times.
Monday.
Take it.
Huge weekend for them. I mean, they're undefeated. They're 2-0. Pretty decisive wins over the Euless Junior Stars. Now they've got 2 more divisional opponents in town with the Point Mallard Ducks and the Atlanta Capitals, who will feature someone who has been relatively close to the Lone Star Brahmas scene, we will say. There's a
absolutely
brief preview on the team's website, so feel free to go check that out. All games are free.
Yep.
Free, Free.
Whoop, whoop.
That means you open the door, you walk in, you sit down, and there you go.
Yes.
Sure enough. You pay nothing. Come watch some great hockey. I mean, these kids are awesome. They are super talented. Really high-quality hockey out of them thus far, and I can't wait to be a part of that this weekend. I'm pretty thankful they're here at home, or else I'd be going up to Topeka. But, no, I really can't wait to watch these guys go. Al Rooney has done a fantastic job with these kids. I mean, I can't say enough about what he's done. He's worked very close with Nick and I in terms of making sure we're doing our part in covering the team just as equally, because they're awesome. I mean, they're super easy to work with, too. We have a lot of fun with that. So coming out this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all at 7:35 p.m., including Sunday night, and then Monday afternoon at 2:05 p.m.
So, no excuses either. Cowboys are not playing the night game on Sunday. So
let's just be honest. The Cowboys are not really playing for the next 6 or 7 weeks.
Right. So Tony Romo's back, him and Des Bryant.
But, didn't Al got the return of his leading scorer?
He did.
Sheptitsky's back.
He did. He was actually, obviously, out really. Again, it's one of those you don't really want to see him back because he had a chance to move up, and he basically did. But it's just you had to trim the rosters, and Sheptitsky's a great guy, great player. Comes back a leading scorer on the team, and also top 4, I want to say, in the entire league last year. So with him and Dunner both back in action, that's the 2 top scorers from Al's team from a year ago, and the improved goaltending situation. Obviously, the only 11 goals to allowing 0 in the opening weekend against the Euless Stars.
No goalie movements there in the NA3, huh?
Nope. Not necessary. Not necessary right now.
Yeah,
not at all.
Not.
I think Al wants to probably keep it that way if he has his will, because we had to make some big goaltender move last year and just try to shuffle things up and see who was going to get hot at the right time and kind of play the hot hands, but he's got 2 willing and able goaltenders on the bench, and he's going to have the same problem. Who do you end up going with? Do you ride him one day and then the day 2 of the series you go to the next guy, and do you just kind of keep that rhythm going, or is there going to be a starter that kind of comes out of this? That's honestly, it's up for the goalies to decide how well they play, and if they keep performing at the level, then it's going to be tough for Rooney to figure that one out.
Yeah, I can't say it enough, but I'm really excited that they're here at home this weekend. I know it'll be great for us. We had our fair share of hockey in the 4 days up in Blaine, but
we
now
did.
A couple days off, and I'm ready for some more hockey. It's going to be awesome, and I think, like you mentioned, I mean, they were all guns blazing first weekend against Euless. You had that top line of Dunner, Brown, and Eck, and now when you've got, oh, by the way, the tied for 4th leading scorer in the league last year comes back, it's like, okay, now what do you do? And you've got the Brown line, and now you'll have the Ship-Titsky line, and then furthermore, the third line I'm referencing led the NA3HL South in points the opening weekend.
It was unbelievable.
Waylon Galloway and Anderson, so I think this team is going to be special.
Well, here's the other thing, too. For Al, it's kind of like we said, the Brahmas, Lone Star Brahmas with 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. This is the same exact thing for Al's team. It is insane how much he reloaded this summer. So don't feel like you're going to go to a game and expect nothing less than a successful and winning team, because that's what they're trying to bring. And I know they had to shuffle around those forwards just to kind of separate out some offense and make them even deeper than they already were going into the Euless weekend. But it's gonna be a great one, and I personally love seeing afternoon games on weekdays. I think it's kind of a little interesting, a good change. I mean, I guess it'd be harder for fans to kind of come out and literally take days off. But if you want to take a sick day, I mean, we're just saying. We aren't saying, but we're just saying.
Yeah. Now, how did you guys like calling games at 8 in Blaine?
Oh, it was a little rough.
You want to kind of maybe not raise your hand and volunteer for that next year?
We'll address that matter when the time has come and if we are offered. However, I mean, there were nights where Nick and I did not leave the rink until 11:30. I mean, I know my last NAPHL game of the night was scheduled to start at 8, started closer to 9, and went into a 17-round shootout. So we left the rink at roughly 11:30, back to the hotel. Nick was doing highlights from our game, which had taken place earlier in the day. I mean, till he got to sleep, it was 3 o'clock. Oh, by the way, we're waking up at 5:36 to go back and start the next day. So it was a
a grind.
Relatively sleepless trip to Blaine, but I mean, obviously it's probably beneficial for our careers. Am I willing to wake up at 5:30 a.m. at any point probably within the next month? No, please don't ask me that.
At least some of those games were good, though. I think that was the one saving grace, at least from calling those games. But yeah, I mean, it's great to be around the world, but around the hockey world. But sometimes, I guess here's my apology to the fans. I try to get the highlights day of, but it literally wasn't even possible at one point where I'm like, I'm either going to go without sleep or I'm going to, without sleep and put highlights or get some sleep when we have the big Brahmas game next day at 10:30 a.m. So it was nonstop, and I feel like we landed back, and I just wanted to crash all day and catch up.
I'm happy with what we got done while we were up there, though. We tried to consistently bring the fans a pre- and post-game report. I think there was like one pre-game we didn't get to do because we played at like 10:30 a.m.
Okay, we got all the post-games up.
Yeah, we got post-games. All 4 games highlights are on YouTube, so I'm happy that we got that done. I think we're trying. We are trying. We promise to bring you the most coverage as possible. Now we're doing some article work on the website, so hang with us. We are trying our best. I know there are still fans who want more updates on Facebook, more updates on Twitter, and I promise you we are trying. We don't sit in the office twiddling our thumbs all day. We are working on something. That's a guarantee.
Or we don't laugh at the comments when they come in either. We're like, look at this person. We're like, okay, they want more. Like,
speak for yourself. That's twiddle my thumbs a lot.
No. But we always, we're trying to perfect it for everybody. So it's a system. We're working on it. We're communicating. It's better. We're lucky to have the team that we do, and everybody wants to get out. And it's a full. Every day we're always talking about, okay, what's going up today? What's going up tomorrow? Chad's like, here's a press release. Walt's like, okay, I'm putting this up now. I mean, it's nonstop in the office, which is crazy to think. It's actually funny. Chad's like the god of the office with how much stuff he has his hands in, and raising him over here.
Whoa, easy.
But it's it's cool. It's just like,
seriously,
your hands are tied to so much things, and we're still have time to do a podcast, and we're still joking around and saying, hey, let's work on this. Or we text each other when we're driving home at night at 10:30 p.m. We're like, hey, here's an idea. We got to do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're thinking Brahmas nonstop.
Seriously.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you like what you're doing, it's not really. It is work, but it's.
Oh God, no, I don't feel like I'm working.
Yeah, we joke around, but we'll get the job done. So
right.
There you go.
It's a lot of fun at the end of the day. We joke around here because perhaps this is one of our more down times of the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, now when we press that stop button, we're all going to go back down to the office and we're going to keep working. So this is fun. We get to talk hockey, but then it's back to the hustle.
Yeah,
again.
and if these guys quit working, they get beaten in the morning. So no, help us! I'm gonna chain you to the freezer.
Yeah, this is our subliminal message to help. Please, someone.
No, it's more like let's go into Ricardo and Zeroma's and just eat our life away. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely jumped on the Zuki bandwagon this today.
Oh boy,
Ricardo was the man.
That was a monster.
If
Breakfast
you were coming
and
to a
Zuki.
game, go to Zoos before. Do yourself a favor. That place is unreal. We're lucky to have that place for lunch every day. I mean,
Right.
I've been here for now over a month and I haven't gotten bored yet, so I'm good.
It's it's a lot, man. It's a blessing and a curse to have a pizza place right down this. Oh,
So
wow.
true. It's so true. All right, but I guess before Chad apparently beats us, we better go back to work. So
That's right. Don't make eye contact with me.
We're getting the signal now.
On that note, we'll take a wrap. Lots of things going on. Golf tournament, check that one off. Kids Club, remember that one. NA3 is free this weekend, October 2nd through the 4th. And lots more in stores. The home opening for the NAHL Lone Star Brahmas on October 9th and 10th at 7:30 p.m. against the Amarillo Bulls. But for now, we will see you on the next episode of Inside the Bullpen. This is Prestige Worldwide 2.0. Adios, Brahmaland.
You've been watching Inside the Bullpen with Nick Marek, a production of the Lone Star Brahmas. It's not too soon to get your 2015-2016 season tickets or mini plans to catch all the action of the NAHL defending South Division champion Lone Star Brahmas. Just log on to LoneStarBrahmas.com or call 817-336-4ICE. And be sure and watch for the next edition of Inside the Bullpen.